Greetings everyone, my name is Shaman. I'm here to do the monthly read for you for Libra. So yeah, let's get into it. If you resonate with what I read today, please like and subscribe, and details for private readings are in the description box below. You can also catch me on Facebook. I have a room in Facebook where, a group rather, where I offer discount readings to members who've been a member for more than a month. And if you've been a member for more than a month, you get 50% off the price of all readings. So that's a pretty good deal. So let's get into it then, shall we? Okay, so what have we got happening for Libra in the month of October? Do you have to tell me about Libra, for Libra in the month of October? So the first card we've got is the Eight of Wands. And the next we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. And then we've got Death. Now we have the Tower in reverse. Strength in the reverse. The Magician upright. Three of Wands reversed. King of Wands reversed. Well, they say stars, but really, technically it's still Wands. Okay, and the last one is the Lady of Stars. Okay, the Lady of Stars in the traditional deck would be a page. So let's begin. Well, It's interesting that there's 4 major arcana cards all next to each other. Okay. Let's start with the 8 of Wands. Wands is ruled by fire. And it rules inspiration, energy, enthusiasm. And it's ruled by Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It's about mastery, action, and accomplishment. So this is telling me that you're actually working on perfecting things at the moment and mastering certain skills. Fire energy is good as well because it actually burns through anything that is blocking you or anything that isn't serving its best purpose for you. It's about working towards a goal, and you feel inspired to do so, and you have put a lot of energy into this project or this situation. I'm going to pull some oracle cards as well because I actually find that gives me a bit more information and it helps me get a better read on the situation so that I can give you more information. So let's get a little bit more insight on the 8 of Wands, please, for Libra for the month of October. And the card we've got to go with the Wands is Fairies, Earth Magic. That tells me that you're in a bit of a grounding phase where you're putting things to work and you're working very diligently on bringing your plans into fruition. You feel inspired and you're doing this task with a great enthusiasm. And the next card we've got is the 8 of Pentacles. Pentacles is Earth, and Pentacles rule over material wealth. They also... Sorry. Also, money, career, and manifestation, home and body. So, yeah, when this card comes up, it's a good idea to drink a lot of water and get plenty of rest, because during the process of manifesting things in life, we need a very clear mind and a clear vision of what we want to see manifest from the 5D world into the 3D world. Now, to be able to do this, we need clarity of mind, and we need our brain to function correctly so that it can release the right chemicals to be able to manifest the things that we want. So rest right now is very important, and so is keeping up your liquid. And I like to suggest when people get this, that I like to suggest that they drink lemon water, because lemon water cleanses toxins from the body, and when our body is free of toxins, our brain function works much better, and so the chemicals that our brain secretes to be able to make manifestation concretize in the physical world works much better when we don't have the toxins in our body, and we have cleared and freed ourselves from that, it'll give you a much better opportunity to be able to bring these things into the concrete world. And the card we have to go with that is unfoldment. So these things that you're trying to manifest and bring into a concrete reality right now are going to be successful. You're going to be able to put these things to work for you to be able to bring about the best possible outcome. So I think that we're on a good path, and it looks as though there have been things left behind in the past, things that were holding you back and things that weren't serving your best purpose. I feel like you've had a bit of a rebirthing, and like you have been listening to your inner voice, and that inner voice has been telling you to clear negative energy in the past, in the most recent past. Now, the next card we've got is the Death card, and that is actually in the upright position, and you know, so I think that's really a good thing, because after we've gone through a difficult period and the Wheel of Fortune turns, and sometimes it leaves us in a state of kind of like a suspended animation almost. And when we see the Death card, it's necessary to put things in order in life, to make way for a new beginning, burn through all of the old stuff and make way for the new. Death is necessary in order for a new beginning. If we can't leave behind the negativity of the past, we will never step into the future that we want to try and build, because that negative energy will sap away any good energy that we are trying to create. So it's very necessary for you to be able to cut away the things that are no longer serving your best purpose, in order for you to be able to move forward and to be able to make this manifested in the concrete world. It doesn't so much speak of death in the physical as it does of the death of something within you, something that no longer serves its purpose. It is not necessary and no longer needed, and it's like a stripping away and almost like a rebirthing, so that we can make way for better things to come. And it's a process that we have to go through, and in life we experience many deaths in a symbolic sense, you know, like situations that cause us grief. We can leave those behind and move on unencumbered into the future. And this phase of letting things go and releasing things from the past makes way for new spiritual growth. And the trick is really in remaining steady on the path and not letting anything knock you too hard. It's time to let go, and you've got to mourn whatever situation has caused you grief. You have to feel it in order to release it. And once the passing is done, then you can step up and rise into a new and better future for yourself and for the people around you as well. Now, the Tower in reverse, it's more negative in the reverse than it is in the upright, and So it talks about it's a bit of a rude awakening, really, and signifies a breakthrough and a sudden inspiration of things that have been hidden within yourself. And it signifies upheaval in a lot of different areas in life. It could be the loss of a job or a relationship, or, you know, a death within the family, or someone close to you, or however the Tower presents itself to you right now in life. It's, you shouldn't see it so much as a negative thing, and take it as a stepping stone into a more secure future, because the Tower shows us our weaknesses, and before we can turn our weaknesses into strength, we must know what they are. And so we have to look at the Tower as a pinnacle of wisdom, really, in a sense, because it gives us the ability to be able to strengthen ourselves and to turn our weaknesses into strengths, so that we are better equipped to be able to maneuver through the storm that is basically life successfully. And in order to do that, we need to leave behind the more negative things that don't really bring us what is necessary to be able to grow. Alright, now for the Oracle card. We've got the Ancestors card, and that's generations. So this kind of tells me that whatever it is that, what this situation pertains to, okay, it's got to do with blood and generations and family knowledge, things that we've been taught, maybe some of the things that we need to be left behind are learned behaviour. Okay, now the Oracle card for the Tower. I feel like I'm looking at the serpent in the card. Maybe maybe there are some ancestors or some relatives that might be able to help put you on a more spiritual path. Okay, and the card we have relating to the Tower is effortless. And that tells me that you're going to come through this situation very well. That these things to do with these ancestors, family relations, things that family has to teach you. Maybe I feel like they may have a bit of a spiritual background, and they've been able to teach you how to deal with situations like this, so that the more negative things don't affect you as much. And this knowledge is going to help you navigate life very well, and it won't be so difficult, not as much as it would be for other people. So I feel like the Waterfall card is lessening the effect of the Tower because it's effortless, which means that what you've learnt has made it possible for you to be able to navigate through life without too many problems or too many dramas, and that's a really good thing, because It can sometimes be very difficult for people to deal with negative situations and still be able to come out of it with a positive mindset at the end of it. But I feel like this comes from an inner strength within you. And I feel like you've worked very, very hard on that as well. It's been an ongoing thing for quite some time for you. And it's been a bit of a journey. And I feel as if you're navigating your way through that quite well. Now we've got the Strength card. Strength talks about the power and energy to be able to overcome things. Although Strength being in the reverse here, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does lessen the power of the card. But then we've got the Magician right next to that, and the Magician is a powerful card in his own right. He has the power to be able to bring things into a more concrete direction for you. Okay. What? You need some more information on the Strength card? Focus. The card we have for you, my lovely Librans, is focus. Feel like there's been a lot of energy put into this situation, and I feel almost like it's a rebirthing, like it's a change in direction, more on the spiritual path than you have been before. I feel like things that have happened in the past have been a little bit confusing for you, and even though you handle things quite well and it seems to other people like it's effortless, it takes a lot of focus on your part to be able to okay. Takes a lot of focus on your part to be able to navigate your way through these kinds of situations, because you do have a tendency to escape to a little bit of a fantasy world sometimes, and when we're dealing with problems, that is not necessarily the best way to go. We need to remain focused, and we need to make sure that we keep our eyes on the goal. We can't deviate from our path in situations like that. We need to be very, very focused and keep our eyes on the goal, but not forget the tiny little things in between, because these things are important and they will give us insight by giving us signs into what's happening. Anyway, here we've got the Magician now. The Magician... The Magician's about manifestation, and it's about perception, and also tells us not to be taken in by shallow appearances by people who may seem one way but are actually another. We need to remain focused. Do not be naive. People will present themselves one way when they actually are another. They may tell you that they want a specific thing from you, but what they want is really quite the opposite. You need to be able to determine who's being genuine and who is not. Sometimes the magician can also come with some very dark gifts, and he can be a bit of a trickster too sometimes. So, and he has a good gift with words. So, you need to be quite mindful. The magician is card number 5 in the Major Arcana, and 5s talk about change and instability and conflict. And what that's telling me is that at the moment you're going through a transitional phase where you're moving from one part of life to another part of life, and it's you're leaving conflict behind you, I feel. You want a more stable, concrete reality to build on. Okay, what can you tell us more about the magician? Please give us a bit more information on the magician. And we've got release. Okay. It's time to let go of any negative feelings that you may have relating to your past. You are... Also, I feel like you're releasing things into the universe that you want to see come back to you in a concrete form. And the next card we've got is the 3 of Wands. Wands is inspirational energy, enthusiasm, and it's ruled by Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And 3s talk about creativity, growth, intense activity. And I feel like this is appropriate because I feel like you're taking a bit of a change in direction, and you're taking... leaving behind conflict. That's what I'm getting. Definitely leaving behind conflict. Alright, so things that have caused you difficulty in the past are going to be left behind. And then we've got the King of Staves, Wands. Wands are ruled by fire. They are inspiration, energy, enthusiasm. And like I said earlier, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But kings in particular, kings are executors, and they're very level-headed. They're intelligent, and they approach situations with clarity and strategy. They are very strategic in making sure that their plans and their visions come to fruition in the future, into the concrete world. They're good builders. They're also very good communicators, but on the more negative side, and pardon me for saying this, but they can be a bit of a player. And they can sometimes like to cover up their tracks so people don't find out what they've been doing. Okay. I didn't pull a card for Wands. Alright, 3 of Wands. Give me a card for 3 of Wands, please. I need a little bit more information on that. We've got rainbow blessings. So, whatever it is that you've been working on to manifest is definitely going to come to fruition. Got the Lady of Stars at the very end. We've got the King of Stars there. And as I said, the King of Stars is a builder, a communicator, an executor, and they clarity. There's strength in their vision, and they like to be very methodical in the way they go about creating this vision and bringing this vision to life. Let's find out a bit more about the King of Wands. King of Wands. And we've got reflection. I'm sorry, it's very late here in Australia right now, and I am a little tired. Okay. Now, when I get the card reflection, I look at that card and I see really cold water and snow around it. And that kind of leads me to feel that at the moment you may seem a little bit detached to other people. But that's actually not the case, because what is going on beneath the surface is preparation. And that's preparation for the new. And we've got the Lady of Stars at the very end here. Now, the Lady of Stars, the Lady of Stars in the traditional tarot would be a page. And they can be very inexperienced. A lot of the time they're very young souls, and they don't understand the intrinsic workings of the universe. So sometimes it's a little bit difficult for them to be able to manifest. They'll try and they'll try and they'll try, but they're missing important key factors into the way the world and the universe work. And there's going to be a lot more learning that's going to have to take place in order for this to be able to happen. And yeah, the card we've got here is Vision Quest. So you need to go within to be able to solve this situation. It's time for you to learn more about yourself on a deeper, more spiritual level. I sort of feel like you have lived a lot in the material world previously, and you are moving more deeper into a spiritual path now, and that has brought you to a place where you need to contemplate internally and be able to formulate a path for the future. I feel like you're putting a project together of sorts, and I feel like you're looking for answers as to not only whether or not that is going to be successful, but what is the best way to be able to concretize that in the physical realm. And look, what you need to do is basically you need to just focus on what you want to see, and that's how we manifest. So there's good obsessions and there's bad obsessions, and when we want to manifest things, we do have to obsess a little bit, otherwise we don't build the power to be able to concretize that in the physical world. And so really at the moment what you need is alone time. You need lots of sleep, lots of liquids, keep yourself very well hydrated, and eat a lot of fruit, because fruit helps to detoxify the body. Eat less meat, because that stays in your system for too long. So the quicker your body can digest food, the less energy it will take, and the more energy you'll have to be able to manifest what you want to see come for the future. Anyway, my darling Libras, that's the end of your reading now. That's all I have for you today. And I hope that resonated with you. And if so, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribe. And consider chasing me up on Facebook and joining my reading room, because it's well worth it, trust me. I actually have not had anyone that I've read for yet that has told me my readings do not resonate with them. So I'm hoping that this one has resonated with you today. And I wish you all the best of luck in your new endeavours. And I'll see you next time, next month. Bye-bye. Blessed be, guys.